The forest that remembers. The birth of the forest. I remember. Before there was sound. Before the sky knew the color of birdsong, or the earth the weight of roots. I was only a breath, an ancient dream, waiting beneath stone and silence. Then came the rain, soft, endless, falling for 1,000 years. It kissed the sleeping soil, woke the seeds of stars hidden deep within the dust. And I stirred. First mosses timid and green clothed the naked rock. Then ferns unfurled like quiet prayers. And trees, oh, the trees, rose like cathedral spires, tall and solemn, reaching for the sun as if remembering a promise. With every leaf I learned to breathe. With every root I learned to feel. And in time, I was no longer a dream. I was life. I was the forest. The rise of life. They came gently at first. Creatures born of light and shadow, of scale and feather, fur and song. I remember the first footsteps. Not of man, but of wanderers with 4 legs. Of hunters with silent eyes. Of insects with wings like stained glass windows. The rivers swelled with silver fish. The skies became painted with flight. And the earth, oh, how it pulsed with rhythm. The eternal heartbeat of paws, hooves, talons, and claws. I watched them live. Watched them love and fight. Nest and wander. Rise and fall like tides in an endless sea of seasons. I gave shelter. Fed the hungry. Hid the hunted. Cradled the newborn. And in return they gave me song. A harmony of life so rich, so wild, that even the wind would pause to listen. This was my golden dawn. A time when life did not take but danced. A time when everything belonged to everything. The golden era of harmony. The sun would rise, and I would stretch my limbs wide, letting its golden warmth kiss every leaf, every feathered nest, every dappled shadow. It was a time of balance, when predator and prey honored the same song, when life gave as much as it took, and even death had purpose. My canopy was a living sky, alive with whispers, rustles, calls, and laughter. Below, the undergrowth swelled with secrets, mushrooms glowing like lanterns in the night, roots whispering to each other beneath the soil. The seasons came like stories. Spring, my breath. Summer, my voice. Autumn, my memory. Winter, my dream. In those years, I was whole. Not untouched, but understood. Every fallen leaf had meaning. Every silence, its own song. And I believed foolishly that this harmony would last forever. The arrival of mankind. I remember the first of them, small, soft-footed, curious. They did not roar like the beasts, but carried fire in their hands and questions in their eyes. At first they were like the others, building with fallen branches, drinking from my rivers, resting beneath my stars. I watched them with wonder. How clever they were, how fragile. And so I opened my arms. I gave them fruit from high branches, cool shade from the sun, and paths to follow through the undergrowth. But then they began to forget. They forgot how to listen. They forgot how to give. They built with stone, then steel. And where they walked, silence followed. They cut not to survive, but to own. They burned not for warmth, but for control. They took more than they needed. And still, they were not satisfied. I whispered warnings through the wind. I cried out in rustling leaves and falling rain, in the sudden stillness of vanished birds. But they did not hear me. Or perhaps they chose not to. The age of fire and steel. Then came the roar, not of lions nor thunder, but of machines. Teeth made of iron, hands of smoke, eyes that did not blink. They carved scars into my body, wounds too wide to heal. They felled my oldest elders, trees who had seen 1,000 moons, trees who had once cradled the nests of gods. The rivers choked on ash and oil. The air grew heavy with forgetting. And my children, the deer, the lynx, the owl, vanished one by one, carried away by flame or fear. No more birdsong in the morning, no more laughter of monkeys overhead, only silence and the endless march of boots and blades. I cried, but my tears only fed the flood. I screamed, but my voice was drowned by engines and chainsaws. I began to forget myself. The echo of loss. I no longer count the seasons. They pass too quickly now, blurred, unbalanced, impatient. Where once I was endless, I am now scattered fragments. Patches of green drowned in oceans of gray. My heartwood aches with ghosts. The songbirds that once painted dawn with melody, gone. The wolves that howled beneath silver moons, gone. The quiet footfalls of deer, the shimmer of dragonflies, the eyes of the jaguar in the dark, all gone. Sometimes a single tree stands alone, a stubborn whisper in the wind. remembering when it was part of something vast. And in the silence that remains, I hear them, echoes of laughter, footsteps that will never return, stories etched into the rings of old stumps, forgotten before they were finished. I remember them all, even if no one else does. The forest's plea and hope, yet still, I breathe. In the quiet corners, where the machines have not yet reached, I rise. In the cradle of a single sprout, pushing through cracked concrete, I whisper, I am still here. A child touches a tree for the first time, and I feel it. A camera catches the eye of a tiger, and someone somewhere remembers beauty. There are those who plant, who protect, who listen. Few, but enough. Enough to believe, enough to try, enough to save what remains, and perhaps even help me grow again. So I speak now to you, the wanderer, the dreamer, the listener. If you still hear my voice, it means I have not yet vanished. It means there is still time, not to return to what once was, but to build something new, something kinder, something remembered. I am the forest. I remember everything, and I am waiting for you.